Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora. With me right now is Sarah Cooper, the founder of the Snallygaster Museum. I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
This is going to be so much fun because honestly, the Snallygaster, I did a video on it, and that's kind of how you found me, and then we communicated. It's one of the oldest cryptids in the United States. It beats the Jersey Devil. But it's got like almost zilch publicity in Maryland. People don't know about this. So how did you find out about Snally, and how did you decide to do this museum? Because this is fascinating.
So I grew up completely obsessed with Bat Boy from the Weekly World News.
Oh, yes.
And that got me into the whole world of the strange and cryptids and aliens and Elvis sightings, all that kind of thing. So it just was an interest that stayed with me my whole life. And then when we moved to Maryland, I started researching local folklore, and I found out about the Snallygaster, and I started just collecting little things here and there. But then when COVID happened and we were quarantining and everything was stressful, I started to just use it as an escape to kind of deal with that anxiety. And I got really, really deep into it and decided, like you said, it's so not well known, and I've been to all these other cryptid museums and I love them, and I'm like, we have a really cool one in our own state, so we need to celebrate it. And I just started putting all my artwork and newspaper articles and all that together, and it just about a year ago was the official plan put into place. So
nice. Yeah. So you're opening a museum in Frederick. Now, where in Frederick is it going to be? Is it going to be downtown Frederick, or is it outside?
I can't afford downtown Frederick.
Oh, yeah.
So we're actually going to be in North Frederick County. I own a historic home that was built in the 1700s, and interestingly by German immigrants who would have been the ones to bring this story to us. So we're doing it it's a pretty big piece of property. So on the back of my property, and we're doing a 2-story barn that's going to be the museum.
Oh, that's very cool. That's awesome. And when are you going to be opening it?
Hopefully in the next month. We're dealing with some permit issues at the moment because it's now a little taller than we originally planned, but we're, fingers crossed in the next month, going to have everything together.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So if someone wanted to look into what you have now, you have a website.
Yes.
Right? What is that?
So the website is snallygastermuseum.com, and I have a lot of the newspaper stuff that I've cataloged and a lot of the artwork. With links to purchase it from like the artists themselves, kind of just all in one place.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. So now, why do you think it is like I talked to you before we did this, like how New Jersey has the Jersey Devil, Virginia pretty much has the Mothman, the Pacific Northwest has Bigfoot, and he gets a lot of free publicity.
Too much publicity, if you ask me.
Yes, exactly. I don't know why he gets such. I mean,
I don't get it.
A furry naked man running in the woods. But I guess that's exciting.
Apparently, I don't get it.
Why do you think Snallygaster wasn't getting the play?
So I honestly am not sure, because it had so much newspaper coverage. And I don't know if Maryland maybe takes itself a bit too seriously and didn't want to play into the silliness of a dragon with tentacles coming out of its mouth.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm all about that silliness. So.
Yeah. Well, another cool thing about Snallygaster, and you can go and explain it more, because I've done limited research on it. But I mean, honestly, it's I think it's the only cryptid that had a president want to hunt it.
Exactly.
And I think it's the only cryptid in the world that has like an arch enemy that is also a cryptid.
Yes.
And can you go into both of those?
That's what makes it super, super unique to me, is that it has these two aspects of the folklore that are so different from every other cryptid. So I think that the first Snallygaster Dwyer stuff actually started quite a bit after, like in the 60s and 70s. So the legend is that there's this dog man creature called the Dwyer who is the arch enemy, mortal enemy of the Snallygaster, and that it's found around Snallygaster nests, or that it hatches from a Snallygaster egg, with no explanation for how that would happen. But there was like a lot of stuff just about them fighting each other, and the Dwyer, and being a dogmen are typically really scary cryptids. You know, you have that Land Between the Lakes, like Dogman massacre that happened, and so I feel like maybe Snally's the good guy in the scenario.
So
but I don't
Snally's
know.
like Godzilla.
Yeah, it's like
And-
Godzilla
and
versus King Kong.
Way
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So you gotta pick.
And then the Teddy Roosevelt thing. So 1909 was the first big flap of Snallygaster sightings and newspaper coverage. And there's a White House record that says that Teddy Roosevelt canceled a trip overseas to Africa to come up to Western Maryland and hunt the Snallygaster. The Smithsonian offered a reward for its hide. I think it was like $10,000, which is quite a bit in 1909 money.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the Snally was never captured.
Yeah, he's too elusive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even the great hunter Teddy couldn't catch it.
Exactly. And
So-
that's why we did this piece to kind of, maybe he did catch it and just went off the record.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And turned it into a belt.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. I would. Maybe. But I'd probably tell everyone I caught it first.
Yeah, same.
So is that one of your favorite stories about it, or do you have a favorite Snallygaster story?
So I really like the story about, it's like a train station. I think it's in Emmitsburg. And these three men said that they fought off the Snallygaster with their bare hands. And it was this epic battle. And I think it's really funny because it's such a tall tale. That this thing that's supposed to be this dragon with razor sharp teeth, 25-foot wingspan, like,
And tentacles.
I don't think the three of you fought it off.
Yeah.
It might have been an owl, but it makes me laugh.
Maybe it was the Mothman.
It could have been.
I think he's easier to take.
And then we do have the, there's a lot of hoaxes around Snallygaster and Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil had the thing where the Philadelphia Zoo had like a contest for who could catch it, and people brought all kinds of horrible things. But Snallygaster had a similar thing where these people out on South Mountain caught an owl and trapped, like a pretty big owl, to be fair, and kept it in a box, and they were charging people to come look at the Snallygaster and say that they caught it, and I think that's just so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that that it's really cool because South Mountain is in Frederick, Maryland, but it's like again, Frederick doesn't seem to celebrate it, but I think there isn't there like some sort of beer named after the Snally in Baltimore.
So there is a beer festival that takes place in DC called Snallygaster. That's been going on for like 5 years now. But they don't do really much with the cryptid beyond just using the name, and they use an image of like a cockatrice, I think it's how it's pronounced, from the medieval bestiary. And I actually in my nerdiness reached out to them and I was like, well, just so you know, that's actually not the right thing. They didn't care. They did not care. I was like, I tried.
So are you going to try and start a Snallygaster Fest here?
No, I don't want to have any competition with them over the name. I think it would just be messy. So my plan, long term, is to have something called Maryland Monster Fest, which would celebrate Snally, Dwyo, Chessie, all of our state cryptids.
Yeah.
So that everybody can be included, and so we don't run into any issues with names.
Oh, nice. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you do, you got to let me know because I will show up.
That is my plan. I'm slowly getting it together.
So that's your long-term plan. Are you hoping? Are you going to ever think about, because you got the museum? Would you ever take a tour up to South Mountain?
Oh yes.
I saw you did some Instagrams.
We had one in the works. Yeah, we had one in the works last spring, and then it kind of fell through with some of the guides that I had hired. So I think now I'm just going to probably do the tour myself because I don't want to have to depend on someone else. But I would really love to get little groups going and walk around and look for evidence and talk about the legend. South Mountain's a really creepy place.
Yeah, it is.
I really dig it. I think it would be really
it
fun to have.
It has like a creepy church just sitting there.
Oh my God, it's so spooky. I love it.
Yeah. Now there's like a dog kind of thing.
The Snarly Yow.
Yeah, and how is that related to the Snallygasters?
So they're all kind of. So Madeline Dahlgren, who wrote the book South Mountain Magic, which was about all these different creatures and folk magic, Pennsylvania Dutch heritage and all these different things about South Mountain when she lived there, mentioned the Snarly Yow. And that is this kind of black dog, but it doesn't have a physical form, and it just jumps out in front of cars or scares people and then disappears into the night. They've never really had any interaction. It's just kind of in the same paranormal area.
Right. So they kind of just added the Snolly to it.
Exactly.
All right. So I wasn't sure if it had a pet dog.
Oh, I wish. That'd be so cute.
We could just say it.
We could just say it does.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
Yeah. So I want everyone to be able to find it. So we already know you got the website. Do you have Facebook? I know you have Instagram. If you want to tell people how they can follow you to find out more information.
Facebook, I think our link is like the Snally House because it just didn't work out to type out museum. And then Instagram is American Snallygaster Museum, and TikTok is also American Snallygaster Museum. I'm probably the most active on Instagram because I'm not a Facebook person.
Okay.
And as we're actually putting together stuff inside, I'll be more active on TikTok eventually. But
yeah, once you get the museum up.
Yes, once we're like putting things up on the wall. Right now, it's like just all this crazy stuff all over my house, and nobody wants to see that, I don't think.
Once it's all categorized.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. I am really looking forward to the opening. I hope that when it opens, you let me come in.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a little soft opening for friends and family, and do like a fire pit and kind of all hang out before we do the big grand opening. So you definitely got to come to that.
Oh, I definitely will. I'm excited about that. And I know we're actually at the Krampfest right now. Krampusfest or
Krampusnacht. Yeah, today Krampusnacht is upon us.
Yeah, and so I know you got people coming to see your stuff, so I don't want to keep you.
Oh no, yeah, thanks.
And I think so. Remember, check out the Snallygaster Museum, the American Snallygaster Museum on Instagram and TikTok, and the Snally House, right, on Facebook, and snallygastermuseum.com. There you go. I got all of them.
Yeah, you got all of them.
And so go check it out. And if you come to Maryland, you have to come to Frederick.
Yes.
And you have to go to South Mountain, and you have to go to the Snallygaster Museum, because it is the oldest cryptid in the United States. I don't care what New Jersey has to say.
Yeah, sorry, New Jersey. And we're the only woman-owned cryptid museum in the world.
Okay,
and
there you go.
And the first ever, so it's a big deal for me.
See, so you got history going on right here. And I'm telling you, Snallygaster predates the Jersey Devil by at least 5 years from my research.
Oh,
so,
it does.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the first sighting was before 1730, and Jersey Devil wasn't born to 1735.
See?
Yeah.
There we go.
Mama Leeds called her unborn child a devil. It's her fault.
And I don't think the Jersey Devil has his own whiskey, but we're here at Dragon Distillery where Snally does have his own whiskey.
Yeah, so and come to Dragon Distillery and try their Snallygaster whiskey.
You might see a Snallygaster if you drink too much of it. That's rather strong.
Well, I might buy some, take it up to South Mountain, and drink a bottle.
That's what we should do.
That should be part of your tour.
Yeah, everyone has to do shots before we hike.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Well, I thank you guys for joining us. As always, stay safe and keep searching.
Check out fedoracrt.com today.